Hello YouTube, this is Keith Kevin Kent. How you doing? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. It's time again for the knife of the day. This is the series where I go through my collection one knife at a time, one day at a time. I find knives that I bought and I haven't taken out of the case because I don't use them for a daily carry or anything. And so this collection this series has been a good one for me. We have started with the Spyderco collection, and that is by far my most detailed collection. I have most Spydercos that have come out in some version or another. We will continue. I have a bunch of Chris Reeve knives, a bunch of Browse blades, a bunch of other knives that we'll talk about, even case knives. But we've started with Spyderco. There's a huge playlist. It will continue to get bigger as we add on the knives of the day. I think there's over 130 knives now. A lot of them are knives that have been discontinued, sprint runs and that sort of thing from Spyderco. So go check it out. Also on this site we have a whole bunch of other knife videos. But today the knife of the day is the Spyderco Pingo. I'm sorry. Spyderco Pingo. P-I-N-G-O. Pingo. A lot of you probably, some of you probably aren't aware of this knife. Sometimes I struggle with how to do this because I have a lot of variations on knives. When I only have, two variations, I'll probably just do two knives and figure out how to do the other ones as we get closer, because we're starting to get to the knives that I do have several of them. The Pingo, with that interesting shape with the belly, is an interesting knife. This knife was developed by Spyderco for the Danish knife enthusiasts. It was designed by, and I'm going to butcher names, Jens Anso, Jensanso. He's done a number of things with Spyderco. He's a Danish custom knife maker. And they created this, I have to put this down to do this. They created it to meet the Danish knife laws. So there are a couple of Danish knife laws that you'll see built into this knife. The first is they don't like not locking knives. So they don't like locking knives. So this is a slip joint knife. Okay, slip joint, non-locking with a spring in the back. Very strong. It has a half stop. Most good slip joint knives have half stops. And you do a half stop going up, or when you're going down, it gives you a little tension. You see that Band-Aid? That's when the fat of your hand gets too close to a slip joint that has a very strong spring. So the detent is unbelievable there. It's a very sharp knife. The other thing, and that's why I had to put that knife down, they don't allow one-hand opening knives. So nothing that flings over, and no Spidey hole one-hand opening knife, which is why I'm opening and closing it like that. So non-locking plus a two-hand opener. Spidey has their hole there, but it's just for decoration. It's a non-functioning hole. And I'm sure if you loosened it up enough and rehearsed, you probably could open it with one hand. I'm a grown man. I don't spend my time doing that. But I have found that you need the two hands to open it. But although it's built for the Danish market, these are really nice everyday carry knives. They really are. One reason I haven't carried them is because they're far back in my case, but also they don't have a lanyard hole. This is one of those in-between knives for me. I would either even though it's a bigger knife and is not made as a keychain knife, I probably would put my keychains on it. This is the FRN scale knife, but let's talk about that blade though. It's so nice, good stock. These knives are made in Italy for Spyderco. I love the belly, great cutting knife. Obviously, it's almost like a Warncliffe, a modified Warncliffe with that bend and that belly in it instead. So it doesn't have that point. This is just a wonderful pen knife for the Danish community or for anyone who likes simple slip joint knives. I find it kind of, there is no nail nick. There isn't any other thing. So you do find yourself pinching this smooth area to open it. I think it's a little, not awkward, but awkward, not easy opening. It needs to be two-handed. It doesn't need to be difficult to open. On the FRN lightweight, the fiberglass reinforced nylon handles, the light kind of, I call it space age plastic handles with a nice grip. On those, for the most part, the steel is N690 steel. N690 steel. So it's a really nice steel. It's a nice blade, very functional for EDC use. The handle is very lightweight. It has what I love, the deep carry wire pocket clip from Spyderco. That is still available everywhere. This is a sprint run of the Pingo. It's still available as well because it hasn't sold out yet. Again, a lot of people aren't familiar with Pingo. Also, a lot of people aren't interested in a slip joint knife, especially with a blade like this. The difference between that one and this, the sprint run, and remember, a Spyderco sprint run is based on a previously released knife, but it's upgraded in some way. In this case, it's upgraded in two ways. First, it's the steel. They've upgraded from the N690 to LMAX steel on this blade. And of course, as you can tell, it's the handle. Instead of fiberglass reinforced nylon, it's full tie handle with this spider, the head of the spider. I guess it's the full body spider. The head on the show side and the backside on the backside of the spider. It is obviously a little heavier, but not extremely heavy. Like I said, it's a sprint run. Usually sprint runs are sold out. This hasn't sold out in years. It's still available, but just a real nice knife. I was struck by the design of the knife, and I really like how it's made. I really do. The blade, 2.4 inches on both of them. As you can see, and they have a little jimping, it's not, because of the style, it's not like most Spydercos where they have that choil in the front, but they do have an area where you can rest your finger there. So it's 2.4 inches, but if you count out the part where you can put your finger so you can choke up a little on this, the edge is 2.1. The total size is 5.8 inches. Just a real nice knife. I love the styling of these knives. Again, the knife of the day is the Spyderco Pingo. It's a Danish knife. It was set up to meet the Danish knife rules. Had to be a two-hand opener, and this is, and could not be a locking knife. So this is a slip joint knife. This knife, the lightweight, is available. I think it's in orange as well. This is the sprint run, which is still available, which is full titanium. If you're enjoying, and I want to compare it to the Native, and of course the Delica, so you can get a good size on these babies. So they're a smaller knife, but a nice size for EDC. There you have it. If you're enjoying these daily knives of the day, let me know. Like it. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to have some chatty, maybe even some live videos over the weekends where we talk over a lot of knives, and maybe I answer questions, and maybe I ask you guys to help me. I'm getting a little stalled with my knife collecting for a number of reasons, and we can talk about that or on a video later. So thumb it up. Let me know that you guys are enjoying this. We do it Monday through Friday. You have a perfect day. If you never knew about the Pingo, now you know. I think it's a nice slip joint knife if you like slip joint knives. You have a perfect day. Keep your pockets full. Goodbye.